Well, good evening.
Yep.
What's new?
Stuck inside still.
Stuck inside. This is the start of week 4
4?
of stay at home, work from home.
The
all
days
the
are
things at
all
home.
blurring.
What was your biggest accomplishment today?
I got a nap.
Mine was taking a shower. That was a big win.
Honey, you probably shouldn't say that on the air.
Sorry, I shower every single day. Twice a day, most days. Is that better?
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, kicking off our video here, our jokes, normal jokes, how we do the thing. I have to give props to my dad for this one.
Is this...
What do you call a line of rabbits?
I was gonna say, is this the...
Don't give it away.
Okay.
What do you call a line of rabbits moving backwards?
It's a receding hairline. So bad.
Why would you?
Nothing.
Anyway,
I don't have that problem.
welcome back. I'm Tim,
I'm Elayne.
and we are Mr.
And Mrs.
Movies. We're back again, episode 5, and this time,
I don't know.
yes, episode 5. We are pulling from Elayne's dad. He has asked us a couple times, and we've decided to acquiesce. He wants us to do our favorite sports movies. So, mentioned this to Elayne. She was like, no. We have to like divvy it up. We have to do like adult ones. We have to do ones that are like specifically about kids and their lives. We have to do ones about boxing. We have to do ones about racing. So, it's been a discussion. We've narrowed it down.
Yes.
These are our top 3 sports movies, taking out certain things. So, kick us off. Why don't you?
Okay, so my third place is The Longest Yard. Not the original, this is the remake. Mostly because it's really funny and it's Adam Sandler. And it has a good storyline. It's got Chris Rock in it. If you haven't seen it, it's pretty funny. It's prison football, basically. He was shaving points in real football, then he has to go to prison. So he goes to prison, and he plays football with the prison mates against the guards. And there's like an ultimate like game at the end. And it's pretty good. It's good flick. I like it.
What do you think of the original?
I've never seen the original.
With Burt Reynolds.
Yeah, he's actually in this movie.
He makes a cameo.
He does, as I think his himself. But this I really like this movie because I went through a huge like Adam Sandler phase of like watching a lot of his movies, and this was one of the ones that I really liked, as well as Happy Gilmore. Where did Happy go? Where's Happy? Here it is. So I mean, they're both really good.
And sports.
Golfing. Football.
But she already mentioned Happy Gilmore
Yes,
in
I
top
did.
comedies. So, didn't make the cut. All right. My number 3 is The Legend of Bagger Vance.
Gosh, it's so good.
Golf film starring
Such a
Matt
good golf
Damon,
movie.
Charlize Theron,
Yes.
Will Smith.
Will Smith.
Matt
Damon.
Interesting storyline. Kind of a little bit off the wall. Not your just straightforward golf movie or really sports movie in general. But I really like the setting. Once again, kind of that throwback to an earlier time in Americana, down south.
In Savannah, Georgia.
Yeah, right around just after World War II and trying to get the economy back going. They set up a charity golf tournament with one of their local heroes, Matt Damon, who's struggling with the war. And
Says he lost his swing.
sorry, I think World War I, not 2.
Yeah, I thought it was World War One.
So,
Yeah.
surprised me. Will Smith plays a soothsaying caddy who's wise beyond his years. Whether he exists or not is still kind of left up in the air at the end. It's very philosophical and...
No, he wasn't his caddy. He was just his golf instructor, rehabilitator person, because the kid was the caddy in the movie.
The kid?
The kid. What was the kid's name? What was the kid's name?
I don't know. You thinking about the greatest game ever played?
No. There was the little boy in the movie that he's the one retelling the story of Bagger Vance and of,
No?
yes, honey.
You're thinking of the greatest game ever played.
I'm not!
Yeah. Because he's the little
Matt
caddy.
Damon has a little boy.
We're going to have to re-record this, I think.
No, we're not. We will rewatch it tonight, and I will prove you wrong.
You talking about the guy who, like, collapses out on the golf course?
Yes.
That is the greatest game ever played.
No. It's Bagger Vance. No. He's talking about himself and growing back.
Uh-huh.
Yes. It starts off with him having a heart attack on the field, on the course.
Uh-huh.
This is a great film. So I'm going to be right, and it's going to be great. So that's his number 3. Moving on. My number 2, another comedy, is She's the Man. It's soccer, and I really like Amanda Bynes. Again, this is going through one of my phases when I watched a bunch of Amanda Bynes movies. Also, it has...
Which there are many.
Yes, there are. And
I've seen them.
Yeah.
Thanks to Elayne.
And it also has Channing Tatum, which I'm very fan of as well. And it's a good flick. It's also a twist on, is it the 12th night? Right? A twist on the 12th night. Viola. And Olivia. And Duke and Sebastian. Oh, so funny. So, really funny flick. Soccer involved. There is soccer being played. So, anyway.
My number 2, a little bit on the grittier side. And as I was going through my favorite sports films, I realized I have an affinity for boxing movies. Mm-hmm. Even though I don't really like boxing in real life.
He doesn't even like Fight Club.
Nah. Oh, no. That is bottom barrel. One of the few movies I actively loathe. So.
It's a fighting movie.
It is, but it's terrible.
Okay.
I know that's not the general consensus. I put that on my list of 10 things I hate, along with bacon. Feel free to at me at the comments. The Fighter.
That's a good one, though.
Christian Bale.
Wonderful performance.
Mark Wahlberg. Mm-hmm. Amy Adams. All around, based on a true story. The performances are spot on. Mm-hmm. The dynamic between Mark Wahlberg and Christian Bale as brothers is fantastic. Amy Adams plays just a firecracker of a Bostonian woman, and it's just, it's real good. Took me by surprise, but apparently I really like boxing movies, so I didn't have to try that hard.
And my number 1 is Blindside, another football movie. I realized that I was looking for movies that I like. Most of them are football movies. So I really like Blindside. I love Sandra Bullock. I can't tell you what his name is in the movie. The actor. Who is that? That's Quentin Aaron. Yes. Just a great film based on a true story. And just love the football being played. I love the dynamic, how she kind of just takes him in and adopts him and into their family. And I guess it hits more home for me because I'm actually also adopted into my family. And so I guess that's another reason why I really like this film, how she takes heart on this young boy and brings them into their family, and then helps them get into college and the football and the playing, and set in Texas, I believe. No, Tennessee. Texas? Tennessee. Anyway, really good. I like it. You should watch it. So.
And then my number 1, probably not surprisingly, given that I grew up playing hockey, live in Minnesota, Miracle. This came out, obviously, at the right time. America was still kind of reeling from 9/11. Told the story of overcoming odds when America was also in kind of a bit of disarray back in the 70s, late 70s. The retelling of the 1980 Olympic hockey miracle. And it is all of the feels for me. A lot of the players on the team were from Minnesota or played at the U of M. And a lot of things take place in Minnesota. Herb Brooks is from Minnesota. He's actually has passed away now, but his brother is married to one of my mom's cousins, so
What?
tangentially related there. But the movie itself, they did a fantastic job of choreographing the hockey scenes with the camera literally in on the action. They came up with new camera techniques in order to do it. And it just, for those of us that weren't alive in 1979 to feel this, in 1980, they did a really good job of recreating the feeling and the time. And then, you know, you're there with
Oh, yes.
Al Michaels when he's like, "Do you believe in miracles?" Yes, I do. So, number 1. All right, quick recap.
Longest Yard. She's the Man. Blindside.
Legend of Bagger Vance, The Fighter, and Miracle.
All right.
And I would also say, for me, a honorable mention would have to be Dodgeball. So funny,
Oh my goodness.
so quotable. I mean, it's up there with Anchorman and Emperor's New Groove for being able to be quoted. No one makes me bleed my own blood. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. It just, they're forfeiting. That's an interesting strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it works out for him. It's just endless. So good. Anyway, that's all we got for you this time. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
We hope you enjoyed. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, give us comments, feedback, whatever. It's been great to hang out with you. And until next time, keep watching those movies.
See ya.
Thanks.
Hey, folks. We're doing an update on...
We got a caveat to our last movie. I don't know if you've made it this far. If you have, kudos. You may have seen in that last segment a bit of a snafu between the lovely Mr. and Mrs. Movies up here.
Yes.
We were actually fine. However, given that we're both inquisitive and love movies
Yes.
and like being right, we decided to find out what was the case. So
We watched...
we were both part wrong and both part right, which is kind of life in general, right? So we found out that Will Smith was the caddy in the movie. However, there was a little boy that was retelling the movie, so she was correct on that front.
Yes.
And in Greatest Game Ever Played, there is a boy that is a caddy the whole time.
Yes.
So we were both kind of conflating the two together.
Yeah.
Like I said, part wrong, part right, but in the end, love you.
No, love you. Mwah.
There you go. Mr. and Mrs. Movies, out!